wasteland. Alright, welcome. We continue our journey to the west.
Monkey.
Almost an odyssey, you might say.
You
I don't know
haven't
what this
said
intro
anything
is.
to me
About what?
about how I broke our deal to let you go.
Yeah, women are always breaking deals.
You get home. You find your whole life wiped out. You want to hit back. I get it.
Everything is simple to you, isn't it?
It just is what it is.
It just is what it is.
What is this place?
What indeed.
It was a factory. Back in the war, they built mechs here.
But then the
Huge ones.
textures failed to load in.
And what are we doing here?
Looking for someone.
Who?
An old
A
friend
man
of
with
my
texture.
father. This is where he lives. I think he might be able to help us. If he's still alive.
Only a pig would live
This way.
here. I'm gonna pick up these orbs. So how's everyone doing? We survived the ice apocalypse here in Michigan. On the off chance I have anyone watching these videos not from this
Follow me.
region. Saturday it rained all day, and then went from like 50 degrees in the morning to 30 with like a wind chill of like 20 something in the evening, and just kept on raining, turning into sleet. So come Sunday, I didn't go anywhere Sunday. There was like a just thick layer of ice completely covering my vehicle. Whole bunch of branches fell down all over the yard.
Gotta watch out for the water.
Thankfully no big ones, but that's gonna be fun to
Poisonous
clean up.
from mech fuel.
So, this friend of your father's,
The friend of your
how's
father's.
he gonna help us?
To find Pyramid, we're gonna need to follow one of the slave ships. And I think there's only one way to do that.
He has a flying vessel?
Yes. It's how he would transport salvage to us. I just have to persuade him to let us use it.
And how are you gonna do that?
I haven't figured that part out yet.
Better start figuring. So anyways,
Over here.
well, I gotta grab orbs, woman. Anyways, I ended up calling into work today. I got up, got ready, got out to the vehicle, and I couldn't get the door open. Like, oh, come on, it's still a block of ice. And, yeah, I worked on it for a while. I ran the auto start a couple times. But I'm like, by the time I make any progress, I'm going to be late and get a point anyway. So I called in,
Hurry up.
went to the chiropractor, got myself a note so I only get 1 point instead of 2. Gotta play the system.
Max.
Hey, look at that. There's Bex.
I'll scan.
But I might be a complete idiot.
No, wait. There's two.
There's no way forwards from here.
There is. We're actually on a path he made for people to visit him at the factory. I've been here a couple times. Flip that switch up there.
Anyways, I might be a complete idiot. I don't know for sure, but there is definitely a possibility, because when I went out to later in the morning to run some errands, the door opened no problem whatsoever. I sat there thinking, like, was I so tired this morning that I literally just forgot to unlock the door and thought my car was frozen? That didn't go well. Ah! Yeah, it went well.
All clear.
Okay.
So yeah, I may have been an idiot and just forgot to unlock my door, convinced myself that it was actually frozen. But hey, I'm feeling good now because I went to the chiropractor, got it all adjusted, so that's good. That's good. And now it's warming up. It's going to be like 40 degrees tomorrow. My flooded river. Oh my word, it's all that rain Saturday, and now like what snows out there is going to melt also. That's going to look horrible. I got a couple pictures. I might, if I remember, I'll throw them into the video. What it normally looked like when it was flooded and what it looks like now. It's like, looks like they just gave up. Like, screw it. It's just going to keep destroying the bridge, so let's just rip it out. Hey, I can jump here. My word, you punch a lot. Ah! Get out! I could be wrong, but I think I had 6, and I shot him 3 times, yet I still have 4. Interesting. Alright. Zoom. Okay, yep, there we go.
If I remember right, there should be a boat around here somewhere. We can use the boat to get through the tunnels. That's where I think we'll find him.
So, find the boat. Where are we going? Oh, come on, there's orbs over here.
I think it's through here.
Loving the ambient sounds.
Hey, what's with all the pig stuff?
I think that'll make sense when you meet him.
And the music, how will that make sense?
Now that, I can't tell you.
Ah! There's another game that has a big pig character. Actually, there's a couple games. I know Beyond Good and Evil has a pig pilot, which I haven't played that game. I own the high-def remake on the PS3.
Yes, the boat is here.
And
We've just got one problem.
mechs. Oh no.
Get to it. Let me scan.
Anyways, people always say good things about Beyond Good and Evil, so eventually I'm gonna have to play that. But what I was thinking of was what's his name, Pigsy or whatever from Manhunt. And I've never gotten that far into Manhunt. Maybe eventually I'll do
See if you
a.
can lower that section of machinery.
Maybe eventually I'll do a playthrough of that. I'll try anyways. I honestly don't know if I could beat that game. Tell you one thing though. If I do a playthrough of that, it's definitely going to be a 18 and up videos, because that is definitely not a game for kids.
Now do the other side.
Yeah, I know, woman. Are you getting shot at? Because I'm getting shot at. But anyways, one of the... Wow, jump high. One of the bosses, Pigsy. This guy in a junkyard who wears a pig head over his head and runs around the junkyard with his chainsaw, snorting like a pig. And apparently, I don't know if this is, I guarantee this is not represented in the game. One, because I doubt they'd be able to like, do it graphically that well. And two, because they would have definitely got an adult only, which I guarantee they were pretty stinking close to. But I guess there's a toy for Pigsy that's atomically correct. Because he just wears like a loincloth. I know this because when Game Informer did their replay of... Sorry, I thought I saw something jump right beside me. Did their replay episode on Manhunt. One of the guys, Jeff Cork, talked about having a Pigsy action figure on his desk. And being surprised by the detail, shall we say. Holy crap. Those punching guys suck. Anyways, from what they say, the battle is really intense, and just like his increasingly loud snorts as he's running around with that chainsaw is quite the thing to experience, apparently. I thought about trying to play the game because there's a way you can play the game with like the headset. And so that way, if you're like breathing too loud, it'll act as sound in the game, because sound's super important in that game. You run, your footsteps echo, and the enemies around you hear you. You get into a battle, the enemies around you hear you. So you got to do everything as quietly as possible. Well, I figured I would jump in this and drive it over to her. Apparently, I got to go pick her up. They made the second game, and I could be wrong here on the dates, but I want to say the second game, I'm guessing it was probably after the hot coffee scandal for Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, which I'll talk about that in a minute in case anyone doesn't remember what that is. Also, just because I need something to talk about to kill time on here. So everyone was kind of like watching, if I'm correct on the dates, and everyone was like watching Rockstar closely, like oh, what horrible things are you gonna do? And so they were looking for any reason, think of the children, any reason uh, to give Manhunt to adult only. And so I get it. The Manhunt 2 supposedly had some very mature content, hence the reason the game was mature. But if I remember correctly, they basically stated that Rockstar would have to significantly censor it, especially like the Wii version. It's like, oh, if you have kids using motion controls and you're just teaching them how to kill, so we're gonna make this game adult only unless you cut most of the content.
Got it.
Like, I understand Rockstar's whole thing has always been about is just what boundaries can we push, but their games are made for adults, and they would push it into adult only, except all stores
Pigs.
refuse to carry, like the vast majority of stores out there would refuse to carry an adult only game. And I think the main console makers don't want adult only on their consoles.
Like me.
So basically, your only platform would be like PC being sold online.
Like this.
So adult only is not the way to become financially successful. But anyways, the hot coffee scandal.
Get ready on that gun.
Yeah, I'm watching. I can zoom. So on Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, yeah, I'm already shooting them. You can have girlfriends in the game, and
Next coming in on the left.
eventually, as you progress your relationship, they will ask you inside for a mug of coffee, and then it just plays some audio.
Up there.
Up where? See, I just played some audio implying that your character is having sex with his girlfriend. Now, originally, they wanted to have full-blown sex scenes that were actually interactive, and not like God of War where it's all camera. They wanted it all on camera, interactive, like front and center for the player.
What the hell's happened?
But
The engine's cut out.
Well, fix it.
I'm trying.
when the Hauser brothers, when they heard how far they could go, before, like, just how little they'd be able to actually do before getting the adult only, they decided it wasn't worth it. The problem was they were really far into development, and so they didn't want to take the time to erase all the content. So they didn't want to waste the time to go through and erase all the codes.
Got it.
So they instead put in a couple extra lines of code to hide it, which is fairly common. There was always unused data on disk. The problem was because of the nature of the content. When it got discovered, Rockstar got in a lot of trouble. And the way it got discovered was a hacker was like doing a data dump or whatever they call it to see what missing content was still on the disk. And apparently, I guess it was so unfinished that he had to like kind of complete it with crap, I'm gonna fail. Animations and some content from other parts of the game, kind of piece it together. Holy crap, I made it. I'm with a sliver left. So Rockstar quickly like, that's just a mod he made. using the models from the game. That's why it looks so janky. But then he released a patch that you could download onto like a Game Shark to access on your like PS2 and Xbox.
Nice work. Now get back on the gun.
Oh,
Might need it.
this thing's almost dead. We'd be better off swimming. So once it was on the consoles, because at the time you couldn't add content to the console, you could just access what was already there. So then it became obvious that no, this is something that was in the game.
The scanner won't activate if organic matter passes through. It only reacts to mechs.
Oh, okay. So then it became just this huge crap storm.
A mech? I'm not a mech!
Shit! The defenses have activated.
Okay, I'm gonna go on the cloud. Wait here with the boat.
Be careful, monkey.
Pigsy Land.
Destroy that turret. There's the other one.
Yeah. Gotta get my orbs. So yeah, once it became obvious that it was actually in the game and Rockstar had to come clean about it, then the politicians stepped in and started coming up with this narrative that Rockstar was trying to intentionally put pornography in the hands of children. Which was, well, a lie on a lot of levels. Not only just because it's a mature game, not meant for kids anyways, and the fact that it was technically, legally speaking, modifications for video games are illegal. You're modifying, you're changing something that you don't own the license to. And so, like every game that you purchase, you're entering into a end user agreement. Among the things that you're agreeing to in there is that you're gonna leave the game as is and not modify it. Which obviously the vast majority of companies don't really care that people modify your games. Especially since if someone makes a good mod, it increases sales because everyone wants to take advantage of that mod. Good example of that is the DayZ mod, which took a game that was like 2 or 3 years old and put it back on the top selling list, like at number 1. But anyways, so no one cared that it was locked content that was never supposed to be found. No one cared that you're breaking your agreement to access it. Nope, suddenly the narrative was Rockstar is trying to put pornography in the hands of children. They had to pay a massive fine. Basically got crucified in the public eye. The game got reclassified as a adults only game, so all the stores dumped it, and then they had to go through, because it was like such a hot selling game, they couldn't just leave it off the shelves. So they had to take back all the copies that were unsold at a massive loss, obviously, and then they had to block, so I don't have enough for the block anyways. But yeah, they had to get rid of all the unsold copies, losing tons of money for that, and then go through and remove the content, resubmit it for classification and rating, and then put it back on the shelves. But it was such a massive hit that they knew they were going to make the money back eventually. And like obviously Grand Theft Auto series is still going strong. Rockstar is one of the biggest game companies out there. Although they're frequently flirting with controversy, not just because of the content, but also like rumors of bad work places and tons of hours. But that's a story for another time. Actually, I will say one thing. About the whole controversy. Oh crap! Oh crap! Jeez. Can I jump to that? Nice. Anyways, what I was going to say is, when that whole controversy came out, quick version, there's talk going around that Rockstar was forcing its workers to work 100 hours a week. They made it sound like months, like days, if not months on end, while making Red Dead Redemption 2. Like, they made it sound like basically the entirety of, what would that have been, 2018, that they were working 100 hours a week. And one of the Hauser brothers clarified that it was only the writing team, it was voluntary, and it happened, like, there were, like, 3 weeks over the course of the year where they worked 100 hours. But, man, the articles coming out were pathetic. Like, whether or not you believe Rockstar, that's up to you. I haven't looked up the story in a long time, so I don't know if there was a clarification, if they
want to go.
If it was a simple, like, hey, if you want to work extra hours, go ahead and work extra hours, or if there truly was a, oh, you don't have to, but if you want to move up in the company, you better type environment. I don't know. Honestly, at the moment, I don't really care. But the articles coming out, they're like talking about like 50, 60-hour weeks and breaking it down like that would mean that you worked either 6 10-hour days or 5 12-hour days. Like, yes, I know how to do math. And it's like, God forbid some of these journalists ever work in a factory where 50, 60-hour weeks are not that uncommon. Oh, crap. But yeah, the huge, I know I've talked about it in other videos, the whole thing about the whole conversation about crunch culture that was happening like late 2018, early 2019 was stupid. I mean, obviously, this is the part I know I've talked about before, but like, you know, in the 90s on like demo disc, in the early 2000s, they would do tours of studios, and you would see like guys with makeshift beds beside their desk because they were working so many hours they didn't have time to go home. I forget the guy's name. He was like a lead designer on Bloodwake for the original Xbox, but he also ported what's the name? Team Fortress or Counter-Strike, from the PC to the Xbox, and he said like the last week working on that, he was working like 20 to 22 hours a day, like sleeping on a couch in a neighboring office. And it's like, yeah, that's too much. Like, those are ridiculous. If you don't even have time to go home, oh crap, I was too close to it. If you don't have time to go home, and like you gotta sleep in your office, you're working, like you're only getting a couple hours of sleep at night. And obviously that's too much. But someone has to work a 10-hour day or a 12-hour day. Oh no. Perish the thought. Oh crap. Did I say perish the thought in my video I posted yesterday? Apparently I'm saying that a lot. You could tell the conversation was getting ridiculous. Because like one studio, they were doing oh come on, they were going to do voluntary overtime, and it was all paid. They set it up so they said like if you worked nights, I'm guessing just any hours past your normal end time, it was time and a half automatically, and weekends were double time. And magazines were still talking about this like it was a bad thing. And come on, this is getting frustrating. Like I understand there might be, like I was saying earlier, there might be that whole like, oh, if you want us to like you, you're going to work some overtime. But I mean, as long as you're not being actually like punished for not working the overtime and you're getting well compensated for it, like, who cares? I wonder if he knows where I am. For some reason I was hoping I could run with my shield out. No, you can't. Watch a horde of mechs now are gonna run through because there's no guns to stop them. So good job, monkey. Good job. I hope the... Watch out for the bomb! I was gonna say, I hope the life of the boat was recharged in one of the, like, however many times I died. How much do you trust me? Alright.
So how are we actually gonna find this guy?
I don't know. I'm sort of hoping he'll find us.
I'm hoping when we find him that's
After
the end of the
amount
level
noise we
because
made, I'm pretty sure he knows we're here.
I've been shooting everything. I need to end this video soon.
Okay, hold on. Just get this junk out of the way.
You've seen another one of those things, haven't you? It's getting worse. It must be driving you crazy.
You know, I thought I was going crazy, but not anymore. You were right. It's the headband. It's tuning me into something else.
That doesn't seem safe. But hey, you're okay. Oh good, a dog. Oh, good. Turbos and landmines. There's a mixture I like. Ah!
Don't worry, I'm gonna bring it down.
Bring what down? The world? The landmines? Yeah, I'll bring the landmines down. Oh, crap.
Don't worry, I'm gonna bring it down.
Hurry, Lucky!
Yeah, I'm coming. I'm so good, I don't even make sound.
Trip, you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Freeze. Good. Now when I give the say-so, you're gonna turn. Very slow.
Do you have a
Ready,
gun? Why are you
Tricks?
getting
I'm gonna
closer to
light
him?
you up. Now turn. Trip, is that you?
Pigsy! Pigsy!
You here alone with her? Where's your father?
It looks like his nose is like flexing with his face, which is really weird since his nose is metal. Bidding to meet a pig. Not positive what that's a reference to. If that's even a reference to anything. Is that the end of it? I think that's the end of it. Thank you very much, everyone. I hope you enjoyed this journey. Until next time, my dear friends, until next time.